You don't hear any motorcycle. There is no motorcycle sound. Hey guys, welcome to first episode of Figure Friday. So from now on, I'm going to be posting a figure drawing video every Friday and going over the Reilly method or Reilly gesture of the figure. And in this one here, we did the back pose. It's pretty hard when you get into the back, the anatomy and stuff, but using the Reilly method, it helps you to simplify the figure down into like a wireframe. And you can kind of see it here still, some of that wireframing, especially in the back and the legs. And so that helps you get into the ballpark of what the figure is doing as far as gesture and everything. And then once you have the wireframe from the Reilly method, then you can come in and use certain landmarks of the anatomy and start building up the contour and the form. And then at the last, you can come in with the for the shadow mapping and things like that. Supplies I'm using the smooth newsprint again. I pretty much use this for all the practice, and also it's made by Pro Art. You don't have to get this particular brand. It really depends on what's cheapest for you, but it is important, or it really helps to get the smooth version of it, the smooth newsprint. For the pencil, I'm using the Conte 𝙃𝙚𝙖𝙙 1710B, and that works really well with this paper, and of course the Kneaded Eraser. So if you haven't checked out my Patreon, please go over there and see if you like it. I have other videos of figure drawings and portrait as well. And please support me and help me to make more of these videos on YouTube as well. So thank you guys. I'll see you. Bye. Okay, so let's start off with our basic head shape, our circle. And then I'm just going to sketch out overall shape that I see. She's got the hair here, she has a bun. And her ears, let me just throw those on real quick. And then her neck, the sides of her neck. Okay, so first you want to start out with the basic head shape, then come down to the sides of the neck, and then from here you'll see this, you'll see it often on people. It's called C7, the 7th cervical vertebrae, and then from here we'll do the sweep for the shoulders. And I think this is a good time to talk about the length of the body and using the head as a unit of measurement. So if I add the head from the chin to the top of the head as one unit, and if I counted down, she'll probably be somewhere between 7 and 8 heads. So let me look at my image in front of me and use my pen and thumb to find that head length and then count down the figure. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and it looks like at 4 is about where the crotch would be. Then we have 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so she's about 7.5. So now we know that she's about 7.5 heads high, or in length. So let's go ahead and just mark those down just for fun. Don't usually mark every head unit, but I think it'll help to see it. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And she is about 7.5. So her feet will be down about right here. And the next thing we want to do is locate the crotch in relationship to the head. And to do this, I'm going to hold my pencil up to the image and locate on this vertical line where that crotch is in relationship to her head. And if I do that, it falls right about here. So not directly down the center, but off a little bit, just off to the side. And we had said earlier when I was counting the heads down that it matched up on the image that at the fourth one is where the crotch falls. So now we know right about there is the crotch. And that's a very important landmark, because we can judge all the other landmarks based off of this point. Now the next thing I want to find out is the weight-bearing leg and where its heel is in relationship to the head. So the same thing as I did here was trying to find how the crotch matched up with the head. I'm going to do that with the heel. Actually, let me move this over a little bit. I just noticed I can probably bring it over just a touch. So now we're going to try to find that weight-bearing heel. So I'm going to hold my pencil up to my image, vertical, and it looks like it comes to right about the AC joints, or the AC joint. So let's put those joints in. And if I come straight down, the back of the heel will be about right there. So now I can start to place in my overall rhythm line, the center line of the pose. And it's not straight up and down. You can see it curves a little bit in her back. She has a little bit of a hip tilt, is why. And then from here we can bring this all the way down. So we get like this kind of rhythm. And then from the AC joints to the crotch is the next. And so what we're doing, we're building up we're creating a wireframe basically for the figure. And let's go ahead now, let's try to find the hips. To find the hips, we'll do the outside of the neck and then come down. Really light on the line, because we're going to be drawing on top of it. So now let's go ahead, bring this leg over, and make the legs kind of skinny on this wireframe. And let's see, so this other foot, the other heel lines up pretty much up in the middle of the back, it looks like. So somewhere over here. So let's bring our wireframe all the way down. Okay. Let's clean that up so we can see the overlapping. This leg overlaps this one. So now I'm going to find the angle of the hips. So another thing to remember is if we were doing the front pose, we can see the nipples and the belly button. Nipples usually come down about one head below the chin. So it's like from the top of the head, it's like 2 head lengths. So this is actually the line that the nipple on the front side would show up. And this would be the belly button. And of course the crotch at the fourth. And then for the knees, I used to think that the knees are between the foot and the crotch. But it's actually not. That's actually a mistake. It's not halfway, it's a little bit above the halfway mark. So it's actually more like if this was halfway, let me double check. Okay, so this is the halfway, but that's not where the knee goes. It's actually higher. You can see it over here. So it's actually quite a bit higher than the halfway mark. So that's a mistake I used to always make. And I forget sometimes. So, and actually I think this one should go a little higher now that I see. So that's the back of the knee right there. So let's go ahead now, let's go into the rib cage. Make our oval for the rib cage. Again, trying to keep it pretty light. And then the shoulders, I'll just do a circle. And I'm going to look to see about where the hands rest on the hips. So this is our crest line, like the iliac crest is about right here, and that's the hips. And it looks like her hand is kind of resting like so. So this is her wrist right here. And just let's do a very wireframe, almost like stick figure of those arms. And that's pretty much what the Reilly gesture, the Reilly method brings us to. It's a very basic wireframe. And it's very useful because now I can start building up the muscles and the kind of building up the forms and the cylinders. And then after that I can put in the shadows and it'll start to look three-dimensional. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start working in some of the muscles on this figure. There's a couple of things. Let's try to make some of these a little bit lighter. Okay, so I'll just start up here in the trapezius. And that comes down to the shoulder. We hit that AC joint, and then we have the deltoid. And then that comes down. Let's do the other side. Deltoid. And her shoulders are coming, she's flexing them and pinching her back together like she's trying to crush like a walnut between her shoulder blades kind of thing. So there's going to be some flexing back here. Let's put that deep groove in the middle between the shoulder blades. Let's see. We got the rib cage. Comes down. Let's see, on this side, the lat. I feel like I should actually a little bit thicker in the upper body. There we go. Then this wraps around. Got the elbow. Then you have the condyle, the epicondyle right there. Let's come over here. The trapezius. I try to say it's so hard to think and draw at the same time. I was trying to say triceps and I said trapezius. That's funny. 𝙃𝙚𝙖𝙙 or the elbow, and then that 𝙃𝙚𝙖𝙙. So it helps to know like some anatomy, especially on the landmarks, to build up your figure on top of this wireframe. Let's see. So we got this thumb over here. Let's see. Yeah. Don't need to do too much with that. Okay. And this wireframe of the Reilly method is so nice because now I can just focus on the subtle shapes a little bit more while I'm trying to design this. I'm looking at this distance here. So this is kind of like, kind of push that line a little too much, but there's like this line, almost like this crease at the top, and then we have the crotch here. I just want to make sure it's not too long. It might be, I'll bring it up a little bit. Just a little bit. And then with the, what is that called? That scientific name for the butt crack? The intergluteal cleft. That's what it is, intergluteal cleft. And then that's about right there. And then we have the Michaelis rhombus, which is where you have right here, you have the dimples of Venus. This is the sacrum area, the sacrum of the pelvis, and it creates like this little shape. It's a pretty cool shape. Let's see. Her spine should be coming down. Trying to line everything up here. I'll come back up to the back and stuff, but let's come back to the booty. And because this leg is in front, the gluteal fold is a little bit different. Doesn't come straight across, it kind of is relaxed and hangs down a little bit. And then this side, kind of hollows out right there. So the great trochanter is about right here. That's the femur, the head of the femur. And then let's come down here to our leg. And we got the popliteal fossa. It's that little triangle shape behind the knee. And then we have, let's see, let's bring this over. So you start to erase some of those Reilly rhythms that you put in the wireframe, because maybe it was off, you didn't quite get it in the right spot, and that's just how it goes. But it gets you in the ballpark pretty quick, and it keeps everything lined up. Let me fix that foot. It's kind of a weird perspective on it. I could probably do with doing some studies on feet. Help me out here. Let's see. Ah, I see. I gotta put that malleolus. I forgot the malleolus. Not quite there. Let's see. Alright, that looks better. Now let's do the other foot since we're down here. Let's get the heel about right here. Top of the foot. And then the malleolus on this side is lower, and it's higher on this side. Let's come over, back up to the hip here. It's pretty round, but you can see like a little bit of an overlapping form. And then this leg comes in. And I feel like I gotta work on this contour a little bit better. There we go. Get that calf muscle. And this thins out. I need to make the calf a little bit thicker here. Okay. So let's go back up into the back. Actually, I don't like that foot. Don't like it. There it is. Okay. Okay. This foot is giving me some issues right here. I think I need to round this off. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do some studies on this. Let's see, maybe if I overlap the form a little bit. Something. Alright, anyway, I'll just leave it. I'll get hyper focused on it and pick at it and just make it worse. So let's move on. Let's go back up into the back and let's just do some, I don't know, some little bit of anatomy lesson here in the shoulder blades. Let's see, so her shoulder blades are flexed. They're probably something like this. Because the back can be really confusing with all these bumps and stuff you see. But if you kind of think about the anatomy and the bone structure, especially the blades, the shoulder blades. So you have like this basic shoulder blade shape, and the trapezius, this whole section, attaches to the spine of that scapula, which is about right here, and then comes down at this like kind of V shape. And you can actually see that on her. She's lean enough that you can see it right here. And then there's probably some muscle relaxing, skin fold rhythms coming over here. You can really see this shoulder blade dig in and create this dark fold on this side. And then of course the crease right here. And there's a pinching of the rotator cuff muscles probably, creating this little divot. So you can start to see what's creating these different shadow shapes that you see in the back. It can be really confusing, but if you know the anatomy, then it kind of makes more sense. That's pretty much it for this one. So you can see how we started off with the head, and then we made all that wire framing, and then on top of that we came over and did contouring, showing little indications of the anatomy, and then really went into the back to kind of showcase what's going on. And if you want to, you can just come in and just kind of sketch in these basic form shadows. Like maybe comes over here, definitely right here, this form shadow. And of course up at the back. It'd be really confusing to try to do that with all that anatomy I just drew in. So, and then you got this cast shadow right here. So I think the Reilly rhythm, the Reilly gesture really helps to get in the ballpark, and then you can start to really get into details pretty quick. I'm not the best at it. I'm still learning it. You can look up Jeff Watts. He's probably the all-time greatest, especially using this method. If you ever get a chance to watch him draw, it's a pleasure. It's really fun to watch him do a live figure drawing. But yeah, that's pretty much it.